Hey, what up, y'all? This is Uncle P from Super Easy Forex. I know I usually have my little sexy beat for y'all from DJ Official, but not today. So what I want to do on this report, I want to kind of go over something in detail so that we can address uh, what happened in the markets and a couple of questions that came in about our services so that we're clear on how we do things a little bit different from other services. So on this particular video, I am going to go through, first of all, what you see. Last week we had 15 wins, 7 losses, 1 break even, and we're still holding the Euro JPY, which is actually in profit. So we're holding that one. So if we were to add it, it would be 16 and 7. Now, what we did was we tried to catch up for lost time. Normally we don't send out that many signals every week. That's a lot. But the prior week, and I apologize for not doing a video for you guys, but I was actually out of town hanging out in Miami with my wife for her birthday, so I didn't do a video on last week. But we had the markets have been very turbulent, as I warned you guys, because of the Evergrande situation. So the JPY pairs, which you guys, some of you guys trade, so you automatically have seen this in your charts, where the JPY went to excessive levels. Didn't respect any fundamentals, it didn't respect any technical analysis at all. It could care less about, all the things that it should have done, stay within the boundaries of the supply and demand zones and all that kind of stuff. Or RSI was out the window, all that kind of stuff. It didn't respect it. Why? Because the news took over, which was the Evergrande situation in China. Here's the strange deal about it. So the Evergrande situation, and this is why for those who were trading the JPY, which you see we had taken a JPY trade right here, we won that one there, and we are winning this one going back to the upside, right? And then on the CAD JPY, we won that one, we won that one. Well, we won on some of the sales as well when it started selling off. Well, why did it sell off? Well, it finally started to slow down because the Evergrande company, which, by the way, this thing is way bigger than what people think it is, according to what I'm being told. The real estate market in China is approximately 25% of its overall GDP. That's a tremendous amount. So if China their market goes downhill, all hell gonna break loose. But not just China, but since China provide goods and services all over the world, if their market go down, I guarantee we're gonna feel it all. Wherever you are in the world, you're gonna feel this. All right. So the point is that the markets have been just off the chain, jittery, haven't been acting normal. The stock market, the indices, they have been climbing, creating new highs, even though there's no real reason for it other than the big boys on Wall Street are just playing with the market, getting as much out of it they can before the market collapses and all these different things. So the market it's not driven by your regular technical analysis. Okay, that's one of the reasons why sometimes when you see us like here, where you see that we have listed, hey, we closed out in profit. Sometimes what happens, and I'm going to address one of the questions. One of the questions is, why do you have closed out in profit as opposed to just letting it hit the stop or the target? Well, a lot of times, one of the things you have to realize is 2 big things concerning this. Number one, if we're dealing with a jittery market and we have to get the pips where we can get them, so you may have a target of 50 pips, but if the market is only giving you maybe 30 pips before you're starting to see it hit up against strong resistance, then you have to get what you can and keep it moving and take the pips and keep it going, right? Or number 2, what happens with this situation is where you will see where it'll come real close to your take profit. And if you've traded for a while, you would notice this. It'll come real close to your take profit. And it's like your broker or the markets know exactly where your take profit is, and it will hang right above it by 2, 3, or 4 pips, right? And you're sitting there watching it and waiting for it to hit your take profit target so you can show off that little green in your history, in your account history. So look how many take profits I didn't. Well, yeah, that's fine if you want to show off. But if you're here to make money and you see that it's staggering and you're seeing a reversal candle starting to form, you don't sit there waiting for it to hit your take profit. You grab the profit it gives. So even if it's 5 pips short, 6 pips short, 3 pips short of your target, take the money and run. And so that's what we did. So under those two circumstances, you'll typically see where we closed out early. Number one, if it's in jittery markets, yes, we'll take our profits very early. You know, even if we have a 50 pip take profit, if we get 25 out of it and the market is real jittery, 25, I will take that all day long. Or if it's swinging really, really close to our take profit, but it's not hitting it just yet, yeah, we'll just say, hey, take your profit and run. So that explains that, okay? That's the reason why you see these here. But again, this happened a lot over the last 3 weeks. The markets have been just raggedy because of the Evergrande news. So again, let me kind of go back because I went a little bit too fast. Let me kind of digress and go back through this. So what basically happened was the JPY was running, it was just collapsing, right? Because of the news out of China. But what happened was, why did it turn around and just stop and started to reverse a bit? Well, that's because Evergrande made a payment, okay? Can you imagine that? A mortgage holder or developer of real estate getting foreclosed on. Well, that's basically what it's like, okay? So they're true billions of dollars in the hole, but they did make their first payment that was due before the end of the month. Now that was just one payment. Here's the kicker though. The kicker is they still have more payments to be made before to the first of the month, which means tomorrow is the deadline. So therefore the JPY could continue its descent upwards. We don't think that they'll be able to catch up on their payments and they'll end up defaulting, which is going to, and other real estate companies in China have started to default already, meaning that they are developers, but they are not able to make their payments. So the real estate market in China looks like it's going to be under a tremendous collapse. And here's the bad part. China is just the beginning. The others, like the U.S. here, if it wasn't for the U.S. flushing all these dollars into the market, guess what would have happened? We already would have seen record foreclosures. It's slowly happening, which is in class. I showed my students that Zillow is no longer buying up properties. So therefore, they're just trying to get rid of the ones they have before this collapse happens. I don't want to get too deep into fundamentals, but I'm just sharing with you guys, when you go through several weeks of turbulence, sometimes it's not anything to do with technical analysis or your trading style. It's just the markets are doing what they're doing because there's so much going on. You also have the debt ceiling. You also have many, many other deadlines going on here in the U.S. So overall, the market is just not that great. And next week, and I'm giving you guys heads up, if you're still listening, please hit the like and subscribe button. I would appreciate that. Next week is going to be a doozy because you got the Feds coming out with their interest rates. You have I believe the Euro is coming out with theirs. The AUD is coming out with their interest rates. And you have NFP, non-farm payroll, on Friday. So again, we're talking about a very, very turbulent situation across the globe. And this has just been something that a lot of Forex traders and traders in the stock market have said, in agreement, in harmony. We haven't seen anything like this. So that's why we took several more trades, no more than normal. We were just snatching up pips where we can get them, Now, why? And now here's the second question that came in. Why don't we ever include pip counts here with our trades, but we do add them here? Well, one big reason. Okay. So number one, the scalping group is done live. Now they are taught how to trade on their own as to become professional scalpers. But most of the trades that are called live in class with Miss Jenny. Okay. So therefore, when the trades are taken, everybody is taking them at the exact same second or moment. So therefore, it's conclusive that everyone is walking away with the same pip count. What we used to do, we used to add the pip counts to our trade signals, which are typically day trades and swing trades. But because they're sent out through our private Telegram group, which is another question, how do you send out the signals? Through our private Telegram group when you join. One of the problems is that if you're in China and I'm here in the US, you may not wake up and get it until maybe an hour later, which if it's still hanging around, in the area, people hop in and take the trade, right? Okay. The point is that we have no control over when these people are taken. We have hundreds of people in the group. We have no control over the exact moment they decide to take it. All we can do is send the signal out. And then we were tallying up our pip count based on when we sent the signal out. But we were getting a lot of kickback and feedback. Well, my pip count ain't the same as yours. Well, that's not our fault. We counting the pips based on the moment we sent them out, at the entry point that we sent them out. Now, based on when you enter the trade, whether you entered the trade immediately when we sent the signal out, or whether you waited 5 minutes, 10 minutes, and those who trade in the market, you know this, you can wait 5 or 10 seconds later and the pip count could be different. Why? Because your entry is now 3, 4, 5 pips different than the time that we sent the signal out. Now, again, they're day trades and swing trades, so it doesn't mean you can't get into the trade. Of course you can, you got time. But the problem is that your count may be 1 pip, 2 pips, or 3 pips off from ours. So therefore, it's not going to be exactly the same. So people didn't take this into consideration, and we were getting kickbacks. Well, your pips are this and that. Well, my pips are this and that. And so that's the reason why we just said, you know, we're done away with it. Whatever, you will know whether you made money on the trade or whether you lost. And we just kept it simple like that. So it was because of confusion. We wanted to cut it out. Not that we're trying to hide how many pips were made, because again, we, the signal providers, me and my team, when we send the signals out, we're basing it off of when we sent the signal out. But if you have hundreds of people all over the globe, from Africa, China, Japan, Australia, England, the US, and all these people are taking your signals at different moments, then not everybody's going to take it at the exact same moment. So to say, hey, your count is off, no, it was actually very accurate, because we're basing it off of when we sent it. But again, to appease the crowd and keep things simple, we just simply removed the pip count. That's why we did it, okay? Now, let me get to the next one. Why are the pips, for those who are in the signals group, why are the pips more larger for the scalping group every week than even if we made a lot of trades and won a lot? How is it that the pips are bigger in the scalping group than they are in the signals group? Great question. Here's the answer. The reason why they're bigger and they're different is because when you're trading, they trade in the scalping group, they typically, now they can trade currency pairs, but they typically tend to focus on indices, the US 30, the NASDAQ, the German 30, and so forth. So anybody who's ever traded in those indices know for sure that the pips you make there is much, much more vast than you would make like on a Euro USD, okay? So that's the reason why they scalp the indices, because you can make a tremendous amount of pips in a short amount of time rather than trading the regular here. Now, the next question is, well, why don't you guys send signals out on indices since you can make more pips? That would be nice. The problem is that when you're scalping, you can get in and out on these indices because they're driven by fundamentals. What is fundamentals? News. So their movement is quite different than you would get typically from your currency pairs. Okay? So Joe Biden, if he does or doesn't say something, the markets here will move very quickly and then snap right back. Well, it's hard to swing trade these because they're driven by fundamentals, not primarily just technicals. So it's not safe to send out signals on these. Number two, you need a much larger account to be able to handle swing trading these versus these down here, the currencies. So if you're going to swing trade with a small account, it's easier to scalp it and build the account, which is what they do in the scalping group. You can build up your account very quickly from small to big with a scalp on the indices, but you want to safely trade, day trade and swing trade here on the currencies. Different market, different reaction altogether. So this is more safer to scalp on, and this one is more safer to day trade and swing on. Okay. Now, can you scalp on the currencies as well? Absolutely. But in the signals group that we send out, the signals are based on day trades and swing trades, and the scalp is based on scalps on indices. And for making quick, big pips, scalping the indices will be better. So that's the reason why there's a difference there. Okay. Next question came out, signal time a day. When do we send the signals out? Well, here's the deal, and people, I want to help you guys understand this very clear. When you're dealing with signals or from any service, signal trade alerts is what we call them. You know, we send out alerts, and they're just ideas. You don't have to take them. It's up to you. If your analysis is different, you don't want to take it, don't take it, you know. But here's the deal. The deal is that anybody who's promising you a certain number of pips every week and promising you a certain number of trades per day or whatever, I would be very skeptical. And the reason why I would be very skeptical is because how do you know whether the market is going to be conducive for trades that day or that number of pips? So the market, as you guys know who trade, is very fluid. Okay, it's never the same from day to day. So there's no way we can promise you, oh yeah, we're going to always send out, 500 pips a week worth of signals, and they're going to be done during the Asian session or the London session and this and that. We don't know that. So all we can do is send out the signals based on when opportunity presents itself to the best of our analysis. Okay, and if you've traded, this is something that you know on your own. The market has good times and bad times, so here's where we try to focus our efforts, through our primary times of trading would be the US and London session, but if we find setups during the Asian session, we'll take them, we'll get our pips wherever we can get them. Okay, so anyway, that was our report for this week, and that's my explanations. If you have any other questions, please let us know. Oh, also, people want to know, okay, so when you sign up for the signal service, it's just a month-to-month thing. It's not a long-term commitment. You can cancel at any time. Again, go through the tutorials when you first sign up so you'll understand better how things work. But again, it is a month-to-month service. You don't have to stay. So if you like it, stay. If you don't, that's fine. No problem. Okay? But one last thing on our signals, we were smashing it. I'm not going to lie. If you look, early in the week, the markets were still jittery. That's why you see most of the losses here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. See, early in the week. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So here's the deal. Oh, that was another thing I wanted to share with you guys. But as you can see, as the week went on, it began to smooth itself out, and we began to just kill the market. I mean, oh my gosh, we were killing it. But here's the deal. One of the things that I would like to show you guys in closing this video, one of the things that we do, you'll see right here we have re-entry, okay? Re-entry. Why do we put re-entry? Okay, here's the reason why. Let's take a look, and I want you to see this for yourself. Let's take a look. We had 7 losses, correct? All right, now watch what happened. I'm going to highlight the ones right here so you guys can see this. Now, I know this video is longer than normal, but I'm doing this for a reason, to answer all the questions that came in, to make sure everybody's clear about what we do here, because everybody, well, why don't you do like so-and-so? Well, no, we're not so-and-so. If you like so-and-so, I suggest stay with them. But we have our own methodology and reasons for why we do what we do, okay? And it works for us, and it's been working for us. Okay, so take a look. Now watch this. Let's see. Right here, let's take a look at this one. So I'm going to highlight these, and I'm going to show you something real quick, and we'll be done with this video. Okay. All right. Now watch this. I'm going to highlight this. This is going to be cool. Watch this, you guys. And that's why I don't think we get a fair shake either. Sometimes from some of our online critics, because they never pay attention to this part. And I should have worded these, all of them, but I didn't, but you'll see it. Okay. And I'll add the wording so you'll see. Okay. All right, there we go. Did I do all of them? All right. Oh, right here. And here's the other. Okay. And that should have been worded accordingly, which we're going to be working on that. Okay, so why did I highlight these? The first one, you see this was a loss. See, it was a loss. But if you look down here, what it should have, and that was on me, I forgot to put it, re-entry. Look at there. And we smashed our target on this one, by the way, re-entry. Okay, and we won that trade. So now this one would be switched to what? Let's switch it, and I'll make that one green, because we actually came right back and won that trade. So that would wipe out the loss we had on that one. Okay, it will wipe it out, plus we came back with profit. Let's look at another one. We initially lost this one early on, but then later on we came back and smashed it right here. See, we won it. So that's number 2. See, so watch this. That will go down to 5 of them. And if I was to do what I was going to initially do, but I chose not to, I would have put an extra category, and let me do this so you guys could see this. Sorry for the long video, but I just want to show you. I wanted to add an extra category called reentries. And what reentries was going to show you, but we decided as a team, we'll just leave it be. Okay, let me show you guys this so you can see this for yourself. It's pretty cool. And this is just to encourage you guys. So if you take a hit on a trade, that doesn't mean that you need to quit on a trade. It just means something may have happened and it's still, news may have pushed it further. And there you go. All right, so now we have two of them out the way. See, when we had re-entries, we actually went right back and won those trades, plus profit in many of those situations. Okay, cancel that. And let me do this and hit white. Okay, so we'll take that one off. That one's done. And this one, we'll take it off. And make that one white. So we got that one done. Okay, are you seeing this? Okay, let's do another one. AUD, you remember we did that one. That was number 2, where it initially was a loss. But we did come back and bam, bam, we got them right here on this one. Okay, you see that? AUD. Now let's go to the next one. GBP, you see? There was a loss right here, okay? But then we won this one. Here's the we already won that one. Then there was a loss, and then there was a re-entry, and see, boom, right here. So if we put that out, that would be how many losses? Reduced down to 4. Re-entries would be 3 of them, right? Because when we typically, what happens is when we lose a trade and go back after it, we tend to either make back the exact number of pips or we try to make more than what we initially lost to make it profitable. Let's look at UCAD. UCAD, you can see it was a loss, okay? And look at this, by the way, GBP won again and won again. See? So even though we have these losses, yeah, you're going to get losses, but just showing you guys that realistically, when you're looking at this report, look at it for what it really is showing you. And I started to add this category, but again, you know, just to keep the chaos down, I don't want any foolery. So there we are. Now, let's take a look at USD CAD. You can see this was a loss, but we came right back and made that money. Look at there. So if we highlight that one green, how many more? 4 now. And this would go down to what? 3. Look at that. Isn't that amazing? Isn't that amazing? All right, let's get rid of that one. Okay. Don't give up on your trades. Don't give up on your trades. I can't tell you guys that enough. Okay. Hold on, let me make this. What is it? There we go. Last but not least, okay, here we go. This one, we did win. And this trade was on me. It wasn't on my team. This was on me. I got extra happy because we murdered. Oh my God! Well, not murdered. We didn't. That's not a good word to use. I don't want to get banned on YouTube. We did our thing with this. I mean, it's smashed way through. If you look at Friday's price action, you'll see Euro USD and GBP USD. It just smashed all the way through. It just smashed our target. So we made that money big. But I got a little bit greedy on this last one here. So that did wipe out the win that we earlier had on that one, right? So that was a win. So if we was to take that away, that would be 14 and 4, okay? And there we go. That would be a little bit more legit. 14 wins, 4 losses, 1 break even, 1 trade, which we're holding over the weekend, and 4 re-entries, which we lost initially, but came back and won, so that we made more profit or break even, but made more profit typically on the re-entries to win back the trades that we lost on, so that we came back. So this would actually be a lot more accurate of a report if you left it up to me. But for argument's sake, because you got, you know, you have, when you're in this business, you know how it is. You got a bunch of people who are hating on you all the time, trying to find a flaw. So there we are. Okay. So either way it goes, nitpick the report if you want, but we had a great week, and I wanted to answer a lot of questions that people had. So if you have any other questions, just shoot us an email to superezforex@gmail.com, and we'll be more than happy to answer your questions. But again, I just wanted to go into detail over the report so that you guys are very aware of how things play out, how we record them, why we do some of the things we do, and why do we, you know, whatever. Okay? All right, you guys, have a great week, and I'm looking forward to a banging week this week coming up. Again, there is a lot of news, but we'll work our way around it and get our money. All right? Have a great weekend.